Hey everybody, coming to you live from my bedroom because we had a snow day. There was no way I was going outside, and the whole house is a wreck. And so this is the only place I get. Again, I think this is the second week in a row I'm in here. Maybe a few more weeks before things get back to normal. Let's see. I'm gonna post this on the website, and then we'll get started. Make the going to have a kind of a short class tonight, I think. So, all right, there's that tweet, and then let's go here and copy, close, and go here. Link to join, delete, Command V, Shift, link, enter, edit, settings, open a new window. Update and updates. There's the button. Only hit that button 100,000 times at this point. Who knows why I can't ever find it. All right, let's see. All right, there's yesterday and there's today. So we are having a snow day here in Denver. Snowed all day long. Started yesterday. I got a ton of snow. Haven't been outside at all today. It's freezing out there. Who would go outside? And so I'm delighted to be here. Spent the day working on sheet music and I'm like this, right? Boggled from it all. I had another thing pop up, which meant I had to do an hour later. And before I forget, next week we will be an hour later as well. Actually, I think I'm going to have to cancel next week, unfortunately, for this class. So we'll see. Hopefully someone will show up, and we will talk guitar. And a lot of people are probably snuggled in with a mug of hot chocolate today, and won't need to join us, right? Here in Denver, anyway. Those of you who are out of town, thanks for joining me. And a lot of you will be playing the replay of this. That's okay too. So what I'd like to do is play our three leveled books, and then all right, and hopefully somebody will let me know if the sound is okay. Always a little bit challenging to find out if the sound is working. I had pretty good luck with it. I've just about got the interface all figured out, so less time to go up. Hey Gary, welcome in. Yeah, it's cold out there. Gary just walked in and said it's cold out there. Yeah, we the good news about being in my current situation is we have a company that does the sidewalk, so I don't actually have to go outside. So I'm for that. All right, let's go grab the web page. We'll play through our tune today. Hey Vic, sound is okay, she says. Good to see you, Vic. Sorry I'm in an hour late tonight, guys. I thought I had a thing at 6. Turns out I did not have a thing at 6. It's next week at 6, and it turns out it's going to run over an hour. So I think I'm going to cancel next week's class. So that'll give you extra time to get. We actually have a pretty hard song this week. So let's go through, make sure everything's making sense to you. Remember, guitar, 45-degree angle or so. And let me move the camera back just a little bit so I can get my right hand in here a little better. Alright, so now we're set. So first thing I want to do tonight is play Frère Jacques, which is an important next step in being able to do fingerstyle music. Okay, so Frère Jacques is built around the A chord. Remember, first of all, make sure you're in tune. E, A, D, G, B, E, Eddie, A, dynamite, goodbye, Eddie. Yeah, I think next week we're not going to have a class. The thing that I thought was at 6 o'clock tonight is actually 6 o'clock next week, and it turns out it's going to be more than an hour long. So I had intended on setting up the schedule properly, and then I forgot the whole thing. So I thought it was this week, but it's next week. And it looks like it's going to run over, and so I think we will cancel next week. So next week, your main goal will be to play with the orchestra. Tuesday night, we're going to have a long session because we're going to play everything off of the Beatles list. And so if you don't have that music, get that from me this week. Send me a note. I'll send it to you. We're going to play all of the songs on Tuesday, and then no class Wednesday. But then we will do the guitar concert on Saturday of next week. So at least at the moment, weather permitting, that's going to be the schedule for next week. And of course, you guys should join us for all that stuff, right? Just because it's orchestra doesn't mean you shouldn't come, right? That's why you should come. It's excellent work for you. All right, guitar's 60-degree angle. Remember, I don't see your thumb. Your thumb does not need to come up over the top, okay? The only people I ever get to fight me on that are guitar players who want to play in a completely different style than we teach around here. So remember, index on the 4th string, middle finger on the 3rd string, ring finger on the 2nd string, everybody in the 2nd fret. Let's play just chords first, a little bit of singing. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous, sonnez les matines, sonnez les matines, ding, dang, dong, ding, dang, dong. Now, let's do before we do the repeat, thumb, index, middle, ring. Doesn't matter which strings, I'm going to use the middle strings. Thumb, index, middle, ring. Thumb, index, middle, ring. Thumb, index, middle, ring. Your job is to keep that steady. Don't think about anything. Just feel it. Let it go. Do it. Try to get your you out of the way. 1, 2, ready, play. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? Brother John, Brother John. Morning bells are ringing. Morning bells are ringing. Ding, dang, dong. Ding, dang, dong. Okay, and just like that to finish up. Okay. Those are the two most important things you're going to be doing in finger style. Plucking with all 4 fingers and thumb, index, middle, ring, right? It's called an arpeggio thing. And when I say the 2 most important things, among all of the other important things you have to do, that's a pretty important skill set to take out of level 1. Plucking and then plucking individual strings one at a time. And that's why we don't use picks in fingerstyle, is because you're going to need to use 4 picks at once. These 4 fingers. We won't use the pinky for anything. Okay, next thing. Let's play the melody. Again, I think just leave your ace chord on. You're going to lift up your ring finger at one point. You're going to move it down to the 1st string at one point. You're going to slide it forward up to the 3 at one point. But for the most part, these 2 fingers are just, those 2 are just going to stay planted. Let's give it a try. 1, 2, ready, play. 2, oh, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. 2, 2, oh, 2, 2, 2, 3, oh, 2, 3, oh, oh, 2, oh, 3, 2, 2, oh, 2, oh, 3, 2, 2, 2. You did all that with your thumb. Now I want you to do it with your index finger. Put your thumb on the 4th string, and then your index finger on the 3rd string, middle finger on the 2nd string, ring finger on the 1st string. When I first started playing guitar, I thought this was the hardest thing in the world to do, is remember which finger was on which string to pluck them over here. Okay, same exact thing, except use these fingers, use all 4 fingers over here, and then move this appropriately as you need to. 1, 2, ready, play. 2, oh, 2, 2, 2, oh, 2, 2, 2, 3, oh, 2, 3, oh, oh, 2, oh, 3, 2, 2, oh, 2, oh, 3, Second ending. And always let your guitar ring out at the end. Don't ever let up on this until you shut the guitar down. And usually what I do is take my palm of my hand, just run it up over the bridge and shut it down. I think that's gives you the most control over how quickly the sound stops. Okay, now you guys are not required at this level to do tough acts, but I do want to play it for you just so you hear what it's going to sound like. We will begin your tough acts exploration in the next song tonight, Frère, Jacques, and then we'll dig into it heavy duty in Row, Row, Row Your Boat. But for now, you can listen to what you're going to be doing, or you can play along if you've been practicing it. Okay, from the top, 1, 2, ready, play. All of the ways possible to play Frère, Jacques. All right, so we got a lot of right hand work in there, which is really, really good. Let's take a look now at your plan for the week, which is Farmer in the Dell. Now, Farmer in the Dell is actually a tiny bit easier to play than Frère, Jacques. Unfortunately, it's a tiny bit dumber. Not a tiny bit. It's a way dumber song. Again, we're not this isn't a song we're going to memorize, but it's a song we're going to bring all of that skill set together. So we won't go through the whole thing, but how we play it. First one with chords. You always want to play all the songs with chords because that's a part of what we do in guitar. Okay, the farm. Oh, we should mention 6/8 time. That's the time that we're in. It's not really 6 time. It's really 2. Okay, it's 3 beats in groups of 2. The farmer in the dell, boom. The farmer in the dell, boom. Hi ho the dairy-o, the farmer in the dell. So when you see 6/8 time, think of it really as in 2 beats per measure. There's just a lot of notes in those 2 beats. Okay, so one, always grab your chord and then pluck with these guys. So let's do that real quick. 1, 2. The farmer in the dell, the farmer in the dell. Hi ho the dairy-o, the farmer in the dell. Okay, and the reason I like you to do claw picking is it's a lot more specific about where the beats are. If you're strumming, which you can do, the farmer in the dell, it's not quite as clear where the beat is, and your guitar ends up being a lot louder than you really need to be, unless you've got a very powerful singing voice, which most students that I have do not. So this just kind of keeps the guitar a little bit more in control by doing it that way. And then also, when you're in 6/8 time, the cool thing is your arpeggio plucking. Instead of doing 1, 2, you're going to do thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index, thumb, middle, index, middle, ring, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, ring. The farmer in the dell, the farmer in the dell. Hi ho the dairy-o, the farmer in the dell. I didn't do those at a good pace. The farmer in the dell. the farmer in the dell. Hi-ho, the dairy-o, the farmer in the dell. So in that case, you are thinking 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's going to be a really powerful tool down the road if you do any singing at all. Plus, in tough uke, we always end up doing a bunch of arpeggio picking. When you have a long note and nothing else is going on, we usually fill those in with little arpeggio picking, so that in this particular style of playing guitar, you end up playing something almost all the time on every single 8th note. And so getting that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 going will be helpful to you down the road. The melody, you're going to hold, again, just like we did in Frère, Jacques, you're going to hold the A chord. And in this case, you've only got 2s and 0s. So let's play through it very quickly so you know what you're doing. 1, 2. Then the 0, lift up your ring and put it back. Then a couple zeros on the high string. Move it up. Take it off. Pick it up, put it back. Okay, and that's actually a tremendously helpful song in terms of thinking about. Mostly, I'm just going to leave my chord planted here and just lift up my ring finger as I need to and move it around where it needs to be. Tough uke, I would do it 2 different ways. I would always do it with tough axe, I should say. I would always do it plucking first if you're ready for it. If you're not ready for it, it's fine. Don't do it. Okay, but if you're ready for it. Plucking it, and then also go back through and do it with your thumb. Okay, so just give you a nice, lots of choices there. It's essentially the same lesson as the previous one in Frère Jacques, only a tiny bit easier to play. And this is the song where I actually dig into that tough axe line. Okay, because the A chord you've already done. Playing the melody is a tiny bit easier than we did in the last song. And now, so this week, dig into tough axe, and you actually have 2 weeks to get this done. So theoretically, if it's all making sense to you, if you're like, okay, I think I got this, do the whole book. Spend the whole week working on the whole book. That way there's no surprises coming in Three Blind Mice or Row Your Boat. Of those 2 songs that are coming up, Row Your Boat is by far the most important, and Three Blind Mice is by far the most difficult song in the book. So you would want to work on those. Also note, those of you guys who have done this before, I added in the strum book on the website. So the strum book that has all like 30 songs in it, with the colored headlines and all that. We are going to go through that this time. So we'll spend a couple of weeks working on strumming. I don't normally spend any time working on that, and I realize that's a failure of mine, and so I want to do spend some time in that book. I love that little booklet, and I think the hardest part is getting it printed out correctly. Once you've got that little booklet, you actually have a really nice thing to practice your chording and your right hand techniques with. So get that printed out. Beautiful. All right, so there's book 1. All right, you got 2 weeks to work on that. Book 2, let's go grab Ain't Gonna Rain No Mo. And we're not going to spend too much time on Ain't Gonna Rain No Mo, because I want to move on to the next song, which is Alouette, which is actually good. Okay, Ain't Gonna Rain No More. Should have your D chord and your A7. Ready? Oh, it ain't gonna rain no more, no more. Ain't gonna rain no more. So how in the heck am I wash my neck if it ain't gonna rain no more? Well, a peanut sat on a railroad track. His heart was all aflutter when along came a train roaring down that track. Toot toot peanut butter. Oh, it ain't gonna rain no more, no more. Ain't gonna rain no more. So how in the heck can I wash my neck if it ain't gonna rain no more? Well, had a goat down upon our farm, ate up old tin cans, locked up into that, then it puked up its guts on a Friday night. Out came Ford's a dance. Yeah, then you're supposed to do it 27 times, 50 times according to Wendell. You know, when you're practicing that one, the idea is to get from A to D and back. And again, it's very similar to our first lesson at Tisket Tasket, right? A and E7. This one's D to A7, but same concept. Here's a chord, there's a chord. We just got to get back and forth, practicing, and the faster you go, the better it's going to be for you down the road. So have a little fun with it. Be a little silly. It doesn't matter if you mess it up. Your goal is to get D, A7, D, A7. D, A7, D, A7, right? And it's one of the more convenient, right? One of the more convenient. Make sure, again, you're having good posture with your right hand. I like that song. The melody, let's play through the melody very quickly. From the top. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, guys. And then you would repeat as many times as you want. Play that as many times as you need to get it kind of smooth. When I'm playing that, I'm glancing down at the numbers to make sure I'm hitting the right number on the tablature, but I'm really looking up at the standard notation to get my eighth notes and quarter notes and dot half notes and half notes all in correct timing. That's actually going to play as important of a role in getting the song correct as anything else. And then finally, one time through, guys, I want to move on to the next song, and I don't want to spend too long on this one. Let's go ahead and play the tough acts. Let's do it twice through. Okay, first time through, let's pluck. Okay, second time through, let's use thumb. From the top, 1, 2, 3. Top, switch to your thumb. looking for the 10. Hit the 11. All right. So again, doesn't tough axe sound nice? Isn't that really, at the end of the day, if you're not a singer, if that's not your first thought when you sit down at guitar, if you're like, I would like the guitar to do more of the work, that is a positively delightful thing to do. Not a great song, right? But you can make it sound great with your instrument, and that's what we were really hopefully after. I hope that's what we're doing. Same thing with Alouette. Let's turn over to that song. Again, another D and A7 special, right? And in the previous song we were doing A7s and A's. We were sneaking in an A here and there. Alouette, it's all A7. Same chord lesson. We're in 4/4. Let's give it a try. Just one time through, so you remember the song. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alouette, chante Alouette, Alouette. J'entends plus marrer la tête, j'entends plus marrer la tête, et la tête, et la tête, Alouette, Alouette, oh, 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 go, Alouette, j'entends Alouette, Alouette, j'entends plus marrer, and then you repeat, and how many times you got the head, the beak, the neck, the back, the wings, the feet, the tail. It's a very violent song. It's about there's a raven outside the window making too much noise, and this person is going to get that raven to shut up if he has to pull the feathers out of his head and then his neck and his beak. Tear the bird apart. Right? He's got to get that raven to stop shouting. It's kind of a brutal song. All right, so there's your chord. Same thing. Tough axe is everything, Vic writes. Yes, it is everything, right? And you're going to see how nice this song is kind of a fun, silly song. But when we put in, slow it down and put in a nice guitar, it's going to sound like a really meaningful moment in musical history. All right, put your D chord on. Let's play the melody from the top. Just one time through with your thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 0, 2, 2, 0, 3, 0, 2, 3, 2, 3, 0, 2, 2, 0, 3, 0, 2, 3, 3, 0, 2, 3, 5, 5, 5, 5, 7, 7, 5, 3, 2, 0. And then go 3, 0, 2, 2, 0, 3, 0, 2, 3, 2, 3, 0, 2, 2, 0, 3, 0, 2, 3. Okay, this is another song where you probably will do yourself some favors by practicing it first with your thumb, and then also going back with putting these 4 fingers on: thumb, index, middle, ring, and then practicing it that way. Just let me show you what that will end up looking like from a right hand perspective. You see me switching back and forth between fingers. I didn't mean to do that, but I've been spending a little bit too much time working on that activity for my own guitar stuff. But you can just stick with 1 finger per string. That's going to be really helpful for you down the road. And so play it both with your thumb and then go back through and try your claw picking. Finally, with tough axe, we'll slow it down a whole bunch and we'll just talk about the things that are going to happen here. So get your D chord on first, okay? Strum down with your thumb for 0, 2, and 3. Middle finger up. Put it back down, strum all 4. And then hit the 2 again. Put your A7 on, strum everybody. Ring finger on the 3, and middle finger on the 2, and then put your D chord on. Again, a D chord. Open middle. The regular D. Hit the 2 again. A7. Hit the 3. 2 on the middle, and then D chord. Okay, keep going. Hit the wrong fret. That's a 3 with my pinky. Now, for most of you guys, you're going to need to do an adjustment here. Okay, so some of you will be able to reach up to your 5th fret. I can barely do it, but I have a tendency to end up back here, and I make crummy noises. So I got to really stretch my hand out. It's not ideal, right? So the adjustment you want to make, index finger right where as always is, but instead of your ring finger here, you switch it over to your middle finger, and then your pinky goes up here, and then it should be easier to get to that. So do 3 of those. Okay, and then the nice part about that in this particular song, then you can just play your bar right on the 2, and now you're sitting in a normal shape. Okay, let everybody up. Put your D chord on. And bar on 2, pinky on 5. Okay, and then you're already on the 5. And then open. And then you go to your D chord. Middle finger up, middle finger down. A7. Ring finger, open, middle finger, D chord. D chord, middle finger up. Okay, and that sounds pretty. Just your thumb, just playing with your thumb. Once you get through it, and obviously go back and try your claw if those of you guys want to. Otherwise, sit and listen. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ring, go. Or and by the way, you got a D note on 10. First string 10 is a D note, and anytime you're playing in the key of D. Makes a nice little ending to it, doesn't it? Very pretty. All right, so we got Alouette for the next couple weeks. Okay, and again, book 2 is the whole thing is set up exactly the same. I would definitely not work on the F chord yet, but if you want to move forward into book 2, knock yourself out. There's no reason not to. Just think how smart you'll be. All right, book 3, All Through the Night. We played this last week, and really pretty. When we get into book 3, guys, I assume, right, that you've these lessons that you've incorporated into books 1 and 2 are in nearby, right? You may not be great at them yet, but I just assume you know what according is. I assume you know what what playing melody is. I assume that you need more work and more time and more effort into tough acts, and and then also, you know, I give you arpeggios for most of the songs in book 3 because I think it's good for you to try different arpeggios. So I try to think of different ones, but you can use regular arpeggios as well. So let's play just one time through with the chords. Make sure you're getting comfy with your chord changes. 1, 2, ready, play. Sleep, my child, in peace attending all through the night. about my singing. Next, let's run through the melody. Make sure you're comfortable with that. On this one, I don't know if holding the chord shapes is really that necessary. I'm pretty much looking at that going, oh, that looks like melody to me. Also, notice you don't have any notes on the first fret, so it might make sense to slide up to second position and just play it with just a plain old melody line. 1, 2, ready, play. 3, 2, 0, 3, 0. Oh, I'm on the wrong string. I was like, that sounds like a different song. From the top. 1, 2, ready, play. 3, 2, 0, 3, 0, 3, 2, 2, 0, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 0, 3, 0, 3, 3, 2, 2, 0, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. Just heard the heater kick on. I have the room turned down colder so the heat water will come on less, but it's still going to come on because it's freezing out tonight. All right, here's where the rubber meets the road. This is where you know how you're doing tough acts. 2 times through on this song, pluck, 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 then thumb, thumb, thumb. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Vic says, hey, I still find our arpeggios hard. Let's take just a quick review of that, okay? Look at All Through the Night, okay? And this is a particularly challenging song because you have chord changes in the middle of measures, okay? So if I'm on the first measure and I'm on D, thumb, index, middle, ring. If I'm doing one pluck per beat, it would be sleep, my child, and peace attend thee all through the night. I think that's pretty challenging to do it that way because you're doing two plucks on each chord for the most part, except the D chords, which have 4 beats. So I would actually think that it's going to be easier to double time it. Do twice as fast. Thumb, index, middle, ring, thumb, index, middle, ring, then change. So you're actually going to do thumb, index, middle, ring on each of those. Okay, so try this just with me. We'll go real slow. Just do thumb, index, middle, ring, and do it twice through in each measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and sleep, my child, and peace and thee all through the night. Just keep going. Guardian angels, God will send thee all through the night. Okay, so all I did there made it much easier on me because now I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 for each chord. The D chords, I'm going to do it through twice, right? And when I started, right, when you first start, your fingers are all over the place. It's really hard to get them in control. That's why you slow it down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sleep, my child, and peace attend thee all through the night. And again. Okay. And yeah, arpeggios are a more advanced skill set. I teach them to you right off the bat, but you don't really get good at them until you've been till you get through the end of book 3. And it's just that business of one of the nice things about arpeggio picking, you can practice them sitting in front of the television. Just bring your guitar out, sit there, thumb, index, middle, ring, thumb, index, middle, ring, thumb, index, middle, ring, thumb, index, middle, ring. You don't even have to hold a chord. And then see how fast you can do them. Okay, and then do them backwards. Middle, ring, middle, index, thumb. The other one I do a lot is, so that's 4s, right? Thumb, index, middle, ring, thumb, index, middle, ring. Those are in 4. To do the 6s, thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll also use this in waltzes. 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, with waltzes, you can also do thumb, index, middle, thumb, index, middle, thumb, index, middle. Okay, so you just want to the number of plucks will end up having some relationship to whatever the the meter is. I'm going to use English from now on. It's going to depend on the time meter, time signature on there as to what you're going to do arpeggio wise. But yeah, I think they are hard. And I do think, Vic, especially since I know you also play ukulele, that arpeggio book that I put out is legit. Like, it's really, really a fine piece of work. And so spending some quality time on that activity on ukulele will definitely pay you back on guitar. But if for you guys that don't do ukulele, this is exactly the stuff I'm talking about with ukulele all the time. Is, hey, that's going to make you sound so much more sophisticated than... and which is what most guitarists get taught, it's fine, right? It's fine, but it doesn't have the subtlety and depth of coolness that arpeggio picking has. It has a volume, is what that's really good for. All right, hopefully that gave you at least some ideas for practicing, Vic. Aloha Oe, this is Elvis, right? Again, a 3-chord song. You got your D chord, da, G chord, da 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 da, D chord, da da dum 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 da da dum da da da, the G chord, da 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 da, D chord, dum, G chord, da da dum da da dum dum da da. You notice I don't sing the words because there ain't no way, right? It's I can barely hum it. Aloha, aloha, da 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 da. Page 2. Da So I can't do the words, but that's basically how the melody goes, right? So that gives you an overview of what it's going to sound like. If you saw Elvis in Blue Hawaii, you know this song. Kazuvar Alpadua showed up. I get one Russian hacker all the time. All right, we'll make that person's go away. Now, melody on this one's everything. Once you get the melody, you can go back through and put the tough uke together. We'll play the tough uke next week, but let's get the melody right. That's the key here. Okay. Start with your D chord, of course. Here we go. I'm going to be paying attention to the standard notation. And guys, I know we don't spend very much time talking about how to read standard notation, but those eighth notes, quarter notes, 16th notes in this case, dotted eighth notes, all that stuff, you got to get them right on this song. Okay? And if you don't know the song, go listen to the MP3 50 times before you start playing the song. Just the melody. Now Man Borgatai is in. Usually the Russian robots go after one, but again, they sent 2 in here tonight, guys. We're that important. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Pinky. Messed up in a couple of places, but you got the idea, right? So play it through until the melody sort of makes sense to you. Then go back through and put the tough uke in. You got 2 weeks to work on this one. It probably takes 2 weeks to get this one where it sounds nice and smooth. It's the standard notation gives you some hint that you're dealing with a Polynesian song, right? It's not the usual stuff we deal with in a lot of our traditional songs, and so this was written by a real queen of Hawaii. And it's really, really a beautiful piece of music. So I like to mess it up real good. So spend the next couple weeks working on the tough uke on this one if you're working in that direction, but really focus in on the melody, because we want to get that melody clean and beautiful. We can always add in chords, and you can always do a duet with a friend, right? Everybody in guitar, no matter who their teacher was, will have learned a D chord, a G chord, and an A7 chord. So they put in the chords, you put in the melody, and nobody has to sing, and you can drink wine, and it's wonderful. So there we go. All right, there's Aloha Oe. All right, so if you're just doing books 1, 2, and 3, and it's perfectly fine to know your lane, just that's enough for you. If you want to dig into some classical, then we're going to look at Carcassi's piece next. Vic says, that's a beautiful song. That is a beautiful song. Yeah, it is crazy how good this song is. I took this from a piece of sheet music that from 1910. What I find is interesting is every time I play this and there's a Hawaiian in the room, they're like, that's not right, that's not how that goes. Because in Hawaii, all the kids grow up singing this, but they change it from elementary school to elementary school, neighborhood to neighborhood. And so everybody kind of has their own way of doing Aloha Oe. But this is from, what is as close to the source as I could possibly find, sheet music from the day. She wrote it in 1878, and so that's, 30 years later. The sheet music the piece of sheet music I have is that old. And I think it's as close probably to, it feels right, like everything about it is like, yep, that's probably what she meant. And so love that piece of music. All right, guys, on to book 4, or classical book. All right, here's where things kind of get sadly difficult. Remember last week we talked about P-I-M-A-M-I-M-I. So with this song, thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index, middle, index. It's going to be that way on almost every single note in here. The last note in measure 8 is a little bit different, and the last note in the song is a little bit different. Every single thing else, thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index, middle, index. So what Val was talking about earlier is Vic, Val, Val. I go back and forth. What Vic was talking about earlier is, hey, I'm fighting those arpeggios a little bit. Well, here's a great chance to really get high-level arpeggios. This is arpeggios from, the early 19th century. Okay, so we're going to go real slow. Grab the chord that you see. Now, a lot of times it'll give you a full bar. Like the second one gives you a full bar to get to E7, right? Okay, but when you look at it, you really don't need to do that. You just need 4, 3, 4 on here. Okay, so most of the time when you see a full bar, you don't really need to do it. And so if you don't really need to do it, probably don't do it. Okay. From the top, we're going to go crazy slow. Take your time. It's really about your right hand here. Put the chord on, then let your right hand happen. We will take a little bit of a pause between every chord change to give you enough time to get it on. Okay? From the top, 1, and I'll just count 4, and then we'll play it about the speed I'm going to give you. I will count 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the speed I want you to do all your 16th notes at. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. O, 2, 1, O, 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 E7. O, 4, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, A minor. O, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, O, 7, 9, 9, O, 7, 9, 7, 7, 7, 7. Look at this little D minor shape on 8. Oh, 9, 10, 8, 8, 8, 8. Back to a D minor shape on 6. Oh, 7, 6, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 4, 5, 4. Oh, 4, 5, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, E chord. 2, 1, O, 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 O. Then this diminished shape. A minor, pinky up on 3. Here you do need the bar on 2. On 5. chord of a D minor. Whoops. Full E7. Little bar on 5. Grab the 2. It's on the 3rd string. Shoot. So it's okay. Hit that 5, and then be putting your 2 on there. And that's a hard note to hit. Oh, Gary snuck out of here. Have a good night, Gary. All right, let's go on to page 2. C chord. Go. G chord with the ring on the 2nd string. Look at this weird C7 shape. Do it again. Bar on 2, pinky on 5. A7, just move your ring, your middle finger down to 3. Do it again. D minor shape. G sharp diminished. Lift your ring finger up, your middle finger, A minor with a 3 on the 3rd string, bar on 2, D7 shape in front, little A minor shape again. On 3, D7 shape in front of that. This is a tough one. Index finger on 5, middle finger up here on 6 of the 4th string, and then your ring finger is down here on 7. You can use your pinky maybe on that 7. So the 5, 6, and 7, 7, 7. And then you have your open E string, then a 6 on your middle finger. The 5 is on the 2nd string. Pinky up here on the 7. I don't even know. It's basically an A minor 7th wide open with your pinky on the up here, right? So pretty challenging little shape. Do that. And notice it's also pianissimo, so you play it quiet. Got a nice little descending bass line here, and just slide your middle finger down to get the 2. Okay, so that's how you want to play. Bum, 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 bum. And then you're going to go basically back to the beginning of the song. It's going to sound like the beginning. 4, 3, 4. I have the wrong E7 shape in here. Change shape. I have an open E7. You want to use that E7 from the front of the song. Okay. Okay, little A minor on page 3. Sevens and 9s here. D minor shape on 8. Bar on 7. D7 shape in front. Come on, Gary. 10s. Pinky on 13. All the way back to that diminished shape. A minor shape with the pinky on 3. Bar on 2, D7 shape in front. A minor. Weird D minor shape. E7 shape. Bar shape on 5. Okay, and I gotta change this shape out to the 5s one. Change shape. Alright, so I gotta update this piece of sheet music just a little bit. And then when you hit the end of that bait number 9, you go back to measure 9, do pages 2 and 3 again. Okay, what I would recommend for study on this one's a toughie. Play it so slow that you can get the movements between chords smooth. So for example, if I'm on page 1, I'm going to play it about this speed. The idea that slow, even slower if you have to. Try not to have any gap in sound, so everything is happening in an eighth note. This will help us on your fingerstyle stuff too, because in fingerstyle we try to have a note on every eighth note, and so this piece of music will help us on our fingerstyle, just trying to get things slow enough where we can have a note every single eighth note. In this case, every single 16th note, you're going to have something happening. And that, there's no pause going on. And then the other thing that's happening here that I think helps us down the road, lots of cool finger, grab a chord, play some notes, grab another chord, play some notes, grab another chord, play some notes. I think that's very finger style, and of course it will reinforce all the work that we do on arpeggios all the time. So this piece of music, while it is definitely a step, a giant level up from what we typically have been playing, I do think everything on here is worthwhile for what we want to play on other stuff. So there we go. Hopefully I haven't bored you to death tonight. Small group tonight, but small but mighty, right? So I think Gary snuck out, but Vic, Linda, and a couple of Russian robots, and maybe a couple other people were here tonight. Next week, let's skip next week, because I do know the thing that I was going to do tonight that I thought would take an hour, I think next week is going to take more than an hour, and so it's just going to mess us up. But that gives you a couple more weeks to work on Carcassi. I'm trying to play this thing a lot, and I haven't gotten it smooth by any such stretch of the imagination, but I want maybe a couple more weeks, and then we'll call it good. Aloha Oe is one of those that you could really spend 6 months on getting it right, and so do listen to MP3 on that one. Alouette, one of my favorite songs in the book. Honestly, I love it. And Farmer in the Dell. Farmer in the Dell doesn't do much for me, but it does really get you set up for Row, Row, Row Your Boat and Three Blind Mice, which are really, really challenging songs. So don't neglect your study of that either. That's it. That's what I know. Vic, thanks for being here. And thank you. And Linda, I hope you hung in there. And anybody else is watching, thanks for being here. And I'm going to go unplug. And we had, I think the snow finally stopped out there. So I'm going to go turn up the heat. And I will see all y'all. Remember, grab your Beatles stuff and still listening. Yeah, keep warm. Grab your Beatles stuff. Have it ready for Tuesday. Tuesday's our final Beatles rehearsal, and then no lesson next week for this level, and then Beatles stuff on Saturday. Right? So. Do I have that right? I think I have those dates right. Double check the schedule and the thing, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. And then that will get you ready for way higher level playing, faster playing too, right? Really focusing in on melody, and then we'll just keep moving forward. So I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.